Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. That guy's Tim. This is Second Legacy, and you're awesome for showing up. Thank you so much for doing that today. We are going to talk about something that seems to consistently be happening in our nation, and we really need to bring some attention to it because another police officer has been shot by yet another criminal who was let out with no bail, no bond, and all of these different things. But don't worry, Tim. I know you're concerned. He had a curfew imposed.
Oh, okay.
I know. But we were not sitting on our hands. That's what we're going to break down. So, if you guys are new, this is the channel where we take the happenings of the 2A day, we break it down, we add some analysis, some commentary, add in a delicious layer of humor and sarcasm, and send it back for general consumption, and we hope you guys enjoy. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. And the content today is sponsored by Ammo Squared. We're going to say a quick word, and then we're going to get this. And the content today is brought to you by a sponsor, Ammo Squared. Now, this is such an interesting idea, guys. We're talking about retirement accounts for your ammo. It's a thing. This is something you guys definitely at least look at if you're interested.
So what's really cool about it is you can tell Ammo Squared what type of ammunition you want, and it'll automatically purchase that ammunition throughout the month. You can also sell the ammunition back if you don't want it, or you can just say, send it to me now, and they'll hold it for you. They'll store it for free, and they'll ship it to you whenever you request it. There's so many cool features about this service. You really need to check them out at ammosquared.com, and we want to thank them for sponsoring today's video.
All right, Tim. Listen, this is a serious topic, what we're about to talk about. But before we get into the seriousness, I want to tell you and show you how awesome our viewers are. Are you ready for this? So this is a comment exchange from one of our prior videos where someone got a song stuck in their head. This is number 10. So someone said, your comment about the two ships that passed in the night is a Barry Manilow song that now I have stuck in my head. Thanks a lot. And one of the awesome viewers that we have responded, hope this helps, and then sings the Band-Aid brand song. You guys are awesome, and I appreciate you. Get 2 hearts. Well played.
That is pretty funny. That's what you call a hum job, right? When somebody hums a catchy tune and it sticks in your head.
I don't think you call that anymore. I don't think it's called that anymore, Tim. I think that's referencing something else.
No, it's a hum job. It's definitely a hum job. And you can't get that tune out of your head. You just keep humming it, right?
I think they call that an earworm.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure earworm is the proper application there.
It's a pretty strange phenomenon.
But now back to the serious, because we had to bring some levity because this makes me fighting mad, Tim.
Oh, no, not fighting mad.
So
political violence mad or just
fighting? Political violence mad. Yeah, from our previous video. Apparently, according to leftist media, that if I get angry, I'm politically violent.
And this is why you carry a gun every day. You're just looking for political violence.
Exactly,
Anyway.
because I'm just looking for a fight. 56%, staggering. Anyway, you guys should check that
but
video.
Not really.
That's a great one. Yeah, but not really. That's of course sarcasm and referencing an earlier video. You had to see it, need to be there. Anyway, you guys are familiar, and Tim, we talked about the police officer who died in New York by the 2 felons who had guns somehow in a gun control zone, and somehow they were felons, but they still had them. You know, that whole
Well, thank goodness
Kathy Hochul was just being worthless.
Yeah, thank goodness Hochul was on top of that, and they've already implemented various reforms at the judicial level. So they're trying to. That's why they're.
There's
out
a lot
of
of discretion.
Yes, never mind.
There's a lot of discretion,
Yes.
Tim. That's what it was. There's a lot of discretion. It's complicated. Lots of details. Well, this one is actually going to a red state.
Okay.
This is in Memphis, Tennessee. So we had that one story in New York. We covered it pretty good. Now, let me show you what's happening in Memphis. And I would like to bring up that Memphis is also a Democrat-controlled city, just for details, for context. Let's play number 11, Doctor.
Also learning a lot of new information about this young man. His nickname was Rusty, the officer, Joseph McKinney.
Right.
We're also learning new information regarding one of the suspects just released on no bond less than 1 month before this shooting.
So here's what we know. District Attorney Steve Mulroy has identified the deceased suspect as 18-year-old Jalen Lobley. He was arrested March 5th of 2024 for stealing 2 vehicles. Lobley was found asleep in a stolen car with a loaded weapon with a Glock switch attached.
Now, Mulroy says he was not responsible for releasing him ROR. He says a jury commissioner did that down at the jail.
ROR, released on own recognizance.
Released on own recognizance.
And so, and this is the exact same thing that happened in New York, right? You have far left activist judges just releasing violent felons without even a bond.
Well, jury commissioner in this one. Commissioner in this one. But yes,
the courts, you're right. So the
same
system
concept, right?
is releasing people. And these are people that are, the guy had a federal felony with the Glock switch. if I was caught with an illegal machine gun, I'd never see the light of day again.
Oh, Lord.
I certainly
Never,
wouldn't be
ever.
released on bond. And I certainly wouldn't be released without a bond. I would just be put under the jail until my trial, and then they would put me under the jail for the rest of my life.
Well,
So
most people would.
most people would put me in prison for the rest of my life? Why would you say that?
No,
Oh, okay.
well, yes. Well, yes, that too. But
What are you trying to say?
most people would have those exact same consequences.
Yeah.
But because of the policies that are being propagated by the left and by the Democrats around this whole restorative justice thing about the system is mean, and it made him be involved in the 2 stolen
Yes,
cars,
he's a victim.
and it made him have the gun, and it made him have the Glock switch, which is a manipulation of the gun, and it made him fall asleep in the stolen car. So really, it's the system. So he should be let out.
He's the victim in all
What?
of this.
I know.
He's
That's
the
what I'm
victim.
saying. That's what I'm going for. He is.
We cannot hold him accountable because he's a victim. So
That's true. That's right. That makes total sense. And you're catching up a theme here because the exact same thing happened in New York that killed the officer. Well, now we have another officer that's dead, this time in Memphis. This transcends red states and blue states. This is an underlying theme of the left. Let criminals out on the street because the system was mean to them and they're victims.
we need more.
Not their actions.
We need more laws, but we're only going to enforce it against
Yes.
you, but not you. You get to go
Correct.
home. You murdered somebody, not a problem.
You get to go
on,
home.
Go on home.
Right,
Don't
because it's it's so mean. And you only stole 2 cars, and you're only found in possession of stolen property, which is also a federal crime, and a gun, and the commission of a machine gun. Oh my goodness gracious.
If we could just
He's so
save
innocent.
one life, though, Braden.
Just one from gun control
Yeah.
laws. If only we had put common sense gun reform laws into the Tennessee level. So
He
now,
was victimized by the lack of
you know
gun
what,
control.
Tim? Exactly. It was entrapment because we didn't make them illegal. Oh, wait a minute, they were awkward. So at least we had to do something, though, Tim. We can't let them off with nothing. So there had to be some sort of punitive action taken, right? Because we can't make it look bad, right? So why don't we play number 12 and let's explore those.
And Kelly, what were the conditions of Lobley's release?
Joe, like you mentioned, Lobley was released on no bond, no monitoring device. He did not have to check in for any drug or alcohol screening. However, he was under a curfew. He was supposed to be at home between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. unless he was traveling for work or school. Memphis police said this morning that shooting occurred at 2 o'clock in the morning near
I'm speechless.
He's sleeping in a stolen car with an illegally modified Glock, and you think he might go to work or school? Doubtful. And so, but he was under a curfew, Braden. We had no way to enforce the curfew because they didn't even put an ankle bracelet on him. They didn't make him go in and check in with some state official to make sure he wasn't using drugs or alcohol and pee testing him or anything like that. No. That would be racist. Just go home. Just go home. And you have a curfew. Please be in before 10 o'clock. What? You murdered somebody at 10:05? Oh, who could have saw that
2 a.m.
coming?
No, 2 a.m.
Oh, so he gave it a little
What were
while.
you doing violating the curfew?
He was out trying to get into the school to study.
He was.
He works the
That's
midnight
exactly
shift.
What it was.
In his car, asleep.
Nailed it. Nailed it. And that's why he needed the Glock with the machine guns, with the Glock switch to make it an illegal federal crime. Because it was protection while he was going to the library, Tim. It's obvious what's happening here.
You know, these mean streets, man. You know, when you're in medical school, sometimes you have to fight your way to the front doorstep of the school. You know, you just never know.
That's exactly it.
And
that's exactly it. I'm glad we're on the same page. I'm glad we put the curfew in place with no way to enforce that or have any data whatsoever. But at least he wasn't. Oh God, something federal. Oh man, maybe we should play 13.
District Attorney D.A. Mulroy says his office argued strongly against Lobley being released on no bond. He says he was flagged as a high-risk offender. Although Lobley was a first-time offender, his case had been accepted for federal prosecution. Mulroy said Lobley fell into his violent crime initiative that said, quote, individuals found with stolen cars and guns or found with Glock switches can pose a danger and must be dealt with accordingly.
Just send him home on his own recognizance. He's not going to hurt anybody.
I mean, he stole like a Hershey bar. Like clearly, like we're fine. He didn't commit federal felonies and then they put him into a federal program. When you steal cars, you have Glock switches, and you steal cars with guns. This guy literally was let out in March of 2024. It is April of 2024, and he killed this officer.
Yeah. But there were no flags there. I mean, they talk about red flags. Clearly, there was no red flags with this guy. You know, the Glock switch, the Glock, the gun in a stolen car. There's no red flags there. I mean, those are just all typical traits of somebody that is victimized by society. So you can't really say that was going to, you know, of course, you have to release somebody on their own recognizance. He hadn't hurt anybody up to that point.
Well, and you know,
I wonder if
this is the thing.
Do you think
man.
he was part of the survey that we just talked about in the last video? Was he in that?
Probably not.
Okay,
probably not. That probably wasn't. Probably didn't make the cut.
And it wasn't political violence; it was just violence. So it doesn't count.
Violence. Yeah, exactly. Nailed it. The big thing, and taking this to a little more serious note, because that was, I think we would qualify that as sarcasm perfected, because that was pretty fun.
That's dripping sarcasm.
That was pretty fun. It was so dripping. Like I needed a swimsuit and some goggles for that.
Sarcasm soup, baby. Remember the old talk soup?
On a serious note, yes, I do. On a serious note, though, people are literally dying. Mm-hmm. Police officers are actually dying because these people are letting these criminals out on the street. Well, it was his first offense. After all, he was 18. Really, the ATF just passed a new rule which makes every 18, 19, and 20-year-old have to go through a mandatory 10-day waiting period to incorporate prior crimes, prior mental stuff, everything in their younger years, so they get a more complete picture. This guy, who is literally caught in the act of Grand Theft Auto twice with a machine gun, well, he's only 18. He hasn't committed any kind of crime before that. Okay, listen. Can we talk about the discrepancy of stupid here, please?
It's like, you know, it was his first body they found in the trunk. You'll show up to court, right? Just go on home. I mean, again, there were no signs that this guy might be actually a violent criminal. None.
It's just, dude, it's so, this is not about, and this is what I'm really trying to drive at here. This is having real world implications on our society, having real world implications on our police officers, enforcing the rules of our society because of a leftist progressive agenda, which is changing the idea of what can be put in jail and what can't be put in jail. And it's affecting the population, the innocent among us. If you're going to do something, and you're watching this video, you have to understand that what we're looking at are the exact same people who tell us our gun rights are causing problems while they're letting this out on the street.
These are the same people telling us that we just need one more law to help save lives, and then they won't enforce any law that they pass. I mean, this guy broke how many laws? Do? And what's the point of a law?
And federal ones. And that's exactly the point. They're telling us and fighting tooth and nail to take more of our gun rights away, telling us we need one more law, just this one more, just this thing, nonstop incrementalism, day in, day out, which we fight every single freaking day. And then the laws on the books, which are as simple as you stole 2 cars and you had a machine gun while doing it, while you were under 21. Oh, well, we're not going to enforce that. That'd be mean.
Yeah.
Then what's the point of the new laws?
Right. It's
God.
I know. But then this guy's going to wind up in the statistic in Bloomberg and everybody else's database. Somehow, I'm probably sure it was in the same zip code as a school. It'll wind up on K-12 shooting database too. But this guy is going to be added to the statistics, and this is a statistic that could have been stopped if they would have just held the guy and put him through the. Well, they may have. Who knows? I mean.
The point is he was out, he killed an officer, and he shouldn't have. Same thing that happened in New York. That's the bottom line.
It's just regular people being killed. A lot of the violence that's going on in these major cities is being committed by people that have already been through the system at least once.
Did you see the 68-year-old woman who was pushed off the top of 9 stairs in the middle of New York by a 16-year-old who'd been arrested 9 times? See that yet?
Yeah.
And
he's probably out on his own recognizance now too. I mean, it's just. It's mind-numbing to me. The far left is passing all these crazy rules and laws and making all these updates to the criminal justice system, and all they're doing is making the situation worse and then blaming you, the American 100%. Gun owner that does nothing illegal. It's your fault. We got to take your gun away because we won't prosecute criminals. You're the bad guy in all this, and that criminal is the victim.
This is the part where you and I come together from our different perspectives on they need the chaos.
They absolutely need the chaos. They allow this to happen.
They have to. Well, and that's the thing. So this is a really important piece as we kind of wrap this episode, because it kind of naturally folds in. On two sides of this, you can say around chaos, you can say they are doing it intentionally, or they are doing it unintentionally and they're just morons. Those are the only two options. There is no third what if secret door. You're either intentionally letting people out to cause chaos, which will then give you impetus for more laws and rules, or you are so incompetent and our education system has brought it to a level where you can't even figure out that someone who does this goes in jail and stays there.
Yeah.
Either way, the end result is chaos.
Yeah.
And they benefit from that.
I think it's, for the most of them anyway, at least the policymakers, I'm going to go with, they're just letting this happen. They need the numbers, they need the chaos, and that's how they get their political agenda. I mean, this isn't a foreign concept to far left activism. If you look into far left activism historically, it's chaos and violence is how they get and maintain power.
You're right.
And the far left of the United
You
States
are
is
correct.
doing the exact same thing here that's been carried out countless times globally by Pol Pot, Mao, Stalin, just name your favorite dictator. And it's happening now in the United States, and people are like, oh, I don't understand how this could happen. It just doesn't make any sense.
I think
this is so strange to us.
I think it's called sleepwalking towards tyranny. I think that's what it's called.
I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, we need to put a stop to it, folks. We absolutely do. Anyway, let us know what you think about this whole episode in the comments down below. Thank you for watching Second Legacy, and we'll talk to you guys soon.